5M. Welcome back to another episode reading Mrs. Mills. We're still reading through A Wrinkle of Time. I hope you've all been well. Thanks so much for all your lovely photos and emails recently. Again, it's always lovely to see them and read them and see all your lovely photos of what you've been up to. And hopefully you've been having a look at the YouTube channel and seeing all the updates from me and Miss Everett as well. So we'll get on with our reading. So we read probably just over half actually. I didn't realise quite how much I'd read of chapter 5, the Tesseract, last time. And all the ladies were explaining how time travel is quicker if you can fold or bend or wrinkle time, as opposed from going from point A to B and trying to explain that. And then they were just off visiting the happy medium to get a bit more information, and Meg was looking into her crystal ball and they were showing her the Milky Way. So let's find out. I'll just read a few more pages just to get to the end of the chapter, and then I'll do another video this week of reading the next half of chapter 6 as well. Okay, so we've just finished at the end where they've said, "Your own Milky Way," Mrs. Watson whispered to Meg. Okay, so let's carry on from there. They were headed directly toward the centre of the galaxy, and then they moved off to one side. Stars seemed to be rushing at them. Meg flung her arm up over her face as though to ward off the blow. "Look!" Mrs. Witch commanded. Meg dropped her arm. They seemed to be moving in toward a planet, and she thought she could make out polar ice caps. Everything seemed sparkling clear. No, medium dear, that's Mars," Mrs. Watson reproved gently. "Oh, do I have to?" the medium asked. "Now!" Mrs. Witch commanded. The bright planet moved out of their vision, and for a moment there was a darkness of space, and then another planet, and the outlines of this planet were not clean and clear. It seemed to be covered with a smoky haze. Through the haze, Meg thought that she could make out the familiar outlines of continents like pictures in her social studies books. "It is because of our atmosphere that we can't see properly?" she asked anxiously. "No, Meg, you know that is not the atmosphere," Mrs. Witch said. "You must be brave." "It's the thing," Charles Wallace cried. "It's the dark thing we saw from the mountain peak on Uriel when we were riding on Mrs. Watson's back." "Did it just come?" Meg asked in agony, unable to take her eyes from the thickness of the shadow which darkened the beauty of the earth. "Did it just come while we've been gone?" Mrs. Witch's voice seemed very tired. "Tell her," she said to Mrs. Watson. Mrs. Watson sighed. "No, Meg, it hasn't just come. It has been there for a great many years. That is why your planet is such a troubled one." "But why?" Calvin started to ask, his voice croaking hoarsely. Mrs. Watson raised her hand to silence him. "We showed you the dark thing on Uriel first. Oh, for many reasons. First, because the atmosphere on the mountain peaks there is so clear and thin, you could see it for what it is. And we thought it would be easier for you to understand if you saw it, well, someplace else first, not on your own Earth." "I hate it," Charles Wallace cried passionately. "I hate the dark thing." Mrs. Watson nodded. "Yes, Charles dear, we all do. That's another reason we wanted to prepare you on Uriel. We thought it would be too frightening for you to see it first, say it again. We thought it would be too frightening for you to see it first of all about your own beloved world." "But what is it?" Calvin demanded. "We know that it's evil, but what is it?" "You have said it," Mrs. Witch's voice rang out. "It is evil. It is the powers of darkness." "But what's going to happen?" Meg's voice trembled. "Oh, please, Mrs. Witch, tell us what's going to happen." "We will continue to fight." Something in Mrs. Witch's voice made all three of the children stand straighter, throwing back their shoulders with determination, looking at the glimmer that was with Mrs. Witch with pride and confidence. "And we're not alone, you know, children," came Mrs. Watson the comforter. "All through the universe is being fought, all through the cosmos and but it's a grand and exciting battle. I know it's hard for you to understand about size, how there's very little difference in size in the tiniest microbe and the greatest galaxy. You think about that, and maybe it won't seem strange to you that some of our very best fighters have come right from your very own planet. And it is a little planet, dears, out on the edge of the galaxy. You can be proud it's done so well." "Who have been our fighters?" Calvin asked. "Who do you think one of the fighters has been?" "Maybe Meg's father?" "Don't know, that's what I think." Mrs. Hugh's spectacles shone out at them triumphantly. "And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." "Jesus?" Charles Wallace asked. Why, of course, Jesus. Of course, Mrs. Watson said. Go on, Charles, love. There were others, all your great artists. They've been lights for us to see by. Leonardo da Vinci, Calvin suggested tentatively. Michelangelo and Shakespeare, Charles Wallace called out. And Bach and Pasteur and Madame Curie and Einstein. So all these famous artists and poets and musical geniuses and scientists, the ladies are saying, have all been fighters against this darkness that's trying to take over the earth. It's been going on for hundreds of years. Now Calvin's voice rang with confidence. And Schweitzer and Gandhi and Buddha and Beethoven and Rembrandt and Sir Francis. Now you, Meg, Mrs. Watson ordered. Oh, Euclid, I suppose. Meg was in such agony of impatience and her voice grated irritably. Copernicus, but what about Father? Please tell me about Father. We are going to your father, Mrs. Witch said. But where is he? Meg went over to Mrs. Witch and stamped as though she was as young as Charles Wallace. Mrs. Watson answered in a voice that was low but quite firm. On a planet that has given in. So you must prepare to be very strong. So her father's on a completely different planet. All traces of cheer had left the happy medium's face. She sat holding the great ball, looking down at the shattered earth, and a slow tear coursed down her cheek. I can't stand it any longer, she sobbed. Watch now, children, watch. And that is it. So yeah, quite a short one today, but that's fine. So we'll carry on reading a bit more next week. We'll read the next half of chapter 6. But yeah, it's just starting to get a little bit more interesting, isn't it? Now we know about this thing and that the fact it's been surrounding the earth 100 years, and we've been on this ongoing battle to try and defeat it. And that's probably what Meg's father's been up to. And he needed the Tesseract to travel through time and space to try and defeat the dark thing, but he's obviously in trouble. So that's why they brought the children out to try and help him. So we're understanding a little bit more of the stories. It can be a little bit complicated. There's quite a lot of things going on and lots of people. It's very easy to get lost. That's kind of the basics going on right now. So I hope you all have a lovely week. Looks like it's going to be really, really sunny. So yes, enjoy your week. Keep me updated. I'll try and think of as many different videos that I can put on the website for you. Hope you enjoy the weekly challenges. Do let us know if you've got any ideas or anything else you'd like to try. Yes, so stay happy, stay safe, and hopefully we'll see each other again soon. Okay, bye-bye.